Welcome back now for the first interview of the second day of Streaming Media 2025 here at the lovely Fairmont Miramar in Santa Monica, California. And I have with me today a guest who probably needs no introduction, but Thierry, go ahead and introduce yourself as to what role you're in these days.
Yes, thank you, Tim. So first of all, I'm very happy to see the streaming media coming back to California, Los Angeles. Very nice setup. And of course, I come back from IBC with what I call the slaughterhouse experience, meaning you do a meeting every 30 minutes, you want to talk to somebody, he's not available, you missed him at the bar, and you have to reschedule it. It's a freaking nightmare, excuse my French. So I like here the setup.
Yeah.
You sit with people, you can have time to go through deeper conversation.
In a lot of ways, so NAB used to be hyper-focused, 15 minutes. You could barely make it across the show floor to your next meeting. I would go to IBC because it was slightly slower pace, but it feels like IBC has actually increased in pace. To your point, being small conferences like this, the ability to sit down like we used to do at IBC, have a coffee, have a conversation.
No more. That's gone. So I think industry needs both. High intensity supermarket type of experience and then smaller shop where you can sit down, talk to the owner. It's, for me, we need both.
So Carrefour hypermarket versus the PAM Mini.
Correct.
Okay.
We need both.
Very good. So what are you doing these days? Obviously, you've had a storied career in the industry, but
Yes.
what's your focus?
So recently, as you remember, we created a new company called the Media League, and I'm going to do some advertisement here.
Okay.
It's basically media entertainment business consulting agency for the tech companies.
Okay.
And one of the things we have decided, because we are marketers, to look at more specifically is AI, and we organize at IBC what we call the Sunday AI Breakfast, where we could gather 50 individuals in the room and could start to demystify what is AI, who is using it, why they use it, what are the use cases, what do you think the industry is going to develop over time. And for us, it's quite important because it's quite the zoo. As you can see, everybody has a little of salt or pepper of AI. Question is, does it work? Where does it work? How does it work? I was really amazed by the subtitling, dubbing panel yesterday, where you could see the Google guy say, it's all solved, and the guy in the operation room telling you, it's not solved. Right. We still need to have human, we need to be compliant, we need to make sure for this type of delivery network, we are okay. For this other type, we are not okay. So that's, I think, what the industry needs to figure out. There is not one size fits all. There are many shoes, many fits, and hopefully it's not only about cutting costs, it's also about widening the scope. Like if you say you are Disney, yes, you can do dubbing for 5 languages. How about the 125 remaining?
Right.
If you can dub it with the best effort, good enough quality, people will love it. If you send them subtitling, they will less be engaged.
Unless they're under 25, and then they're only going to have the subtitles, and it's going to be a mute, so therefore it's what audience are you going?
Correct. But I think people need to realize AI is not about cutting costs.
Correct.
It's also about expanding your universe. And what we want to bring is also how can we change the very well-defined workflow we had until now. Boxes talking to boxes with API. Yes, we'll get smarter over time. How can we change this whole workflow with AI?
Now, technically, we've been able to do a number of things for years, and you mentioned dubbing is one thing. Having worked with the World Trade Center and having to, of course, hire numbers of real-time translators, I look at that as a potential opportunity. And yet, you have things like Apple not doing the real-time translation in Europe because of the GDPR issues and some of the legal framework.
Yes.
So as we solve this technical side, where does the industry go to engage around the legal ramifications of it?
So let me give you an example. I am French, and I spend some time with the France Television project, where they have decided to go their own way because they couldn't find any type of technology that can fit their needs. So they did a homegrown system.
Kind of like CCAM back in the day.
So this is what they did. Now, I'm listening to the buffer-free conference to the obtuse guy who tells me, okay, we've tried this, we've tried that, this failed. And his conclusion was, now that we have a good understanding of the technology, we should go back to the regulators and tell them, you want it to have universal service? Stop these crazy requirements.
Sure.
We can't meet them. And guess what? It's not only for one regulator, a US or European, Chinese. You should have an initiative, and that's what the Media League would like to do, to say, for all the different countries, we have to go back to United Nations MPEG style and tell them, if you want subtitling for everybody, you need to loosen a bit the spec, because the spec which is written was for human translator. Those guys, I'm sad to say it here, they might disappear. But if the quality of translation is bad, this has huge impact. So we need also to put some guardrail, like any politician, prime minister, president, you need to have some oversight. Commentators of a soccer match, yes, maybe you can be loose, but I think there will be probably different class of subtitling. You cannot do stupid things on very important. I know we have a president in the United States who speaks a lot. Maybe we should say, can we check the tweets? Can we match the tweet with the talk? Because the guy says a lot of things and he keeps changing his opinion. So I think there is an opportunity for technology to go back to regulators.
Okay, to
now,
regulators.
Because we have data. Before we have no data. You cannot say anything.
And what's interesting too, if you think about some of that, it takes us back to the days of codecs, and we're going to talk about codecs later today in our panel, but I came out of video conferencing before I came into streaming. We, of course, used H.264 for video conferencing long before it became a streaming standard, but the simple fact that you had MPEG and ITU say we need something that's universal across the board, and then we watched how the industry grew dramatically. So to your point, I think that's very well taken. Going back not just to the regulators, but to the standards bodies and saying, here's how we can get something, because you don't want to be sitting in France and then go to DRC and your translation doesn't work, especially if it's different, slightly different versions of French. The same thing.
And you see that technology company, Tim, they all want to sell worldwide. They don't want to only sell in US and then go to Japan and Japan say, no, this is not compliant. So we need to do a lot of effort, and this is one of the ideas, because there are a lot of other topics that needs to be discussed. Let me tell you the subtitling story, because I'm really focused on it. So you can do that today on the content creation. You can do that on the fast channel and say, on the fly, I can tell you exactly for all the different languages, I can do it on the fly because I have a niche market. But guess what? You can do that on the set-top box, back from ABC. And what is interesting is that you talk to a chip company, says, yes, I can do it here. You talk to hyperscaler, say, no, I have to do it there. And content providers say, no, guys, you are wrong. You have to be done here. So we need to orchestrate all those different elements of the workflow and say, yes, we can do it in a different way, but people need to talk. Today, they all keep their cards very close to their chest, say, I can do it better than you. And as an operator, it's a challenge.
And then you think about the satellite companies, back to Eutelsat, Intelsat, et cetera, where they had to build SAP in early on for those alternate channels. You literally, because of the hardware constraints, could only do 3 different alternate channels of audio. Now we're talking about at a minimum 20 different channels.
The internet is the limit. You can do a lot of internet. You can do a lot of alternate audios. Can be premium, can be cheap. It depends how much efforts you have to put behind it. But I think we're entering into a new world where there are a lot of technology available, and an operator needs to make wise choices on what technology to apply for what quality of service, and of course, what price.
Very good. Thierry, as always, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back with our next interview.